How's it in? So in today's video, I want to bring a different type of presentation to what I would normally bring. Just a little bit different. I want to talk about something that I call self-inflicted depression. When people choose to ingest through the eyes, through the ears, the type of things that make them angry, bring them anxiety, stress, depression, etc. And they do this willingly, unconsciously, perhaps, but willingly. Instead of sitting down to maybe relax, chuck on Netflix and watch the latest movie that's out, something that brings them some happiness, some external happiness to counteract and balance with the internal happiness they might already have within them. Instead of watching that funny movie, that action movie that really just brings them some relaxation and comfort, they would rather put on the news and get depressed. They would rather put on the news negative energy with subliminals and hear about the latest bombing in a country. They would rather hear about the latest nonsense that their corrupt government and politicians are doing and how they're still ripping off the everyday person. They'd rather listen to how the latest youth gang has been going around breaking into houses and cars and just inflicting this damage on the everyday hardworking person simply because those youths have nothing right up here. So they would rather ingest that and put their focus onto that. They would rather ingest eyes, ears. That's what we're talking about with ingestion in today's video. They would rather talk to someone who is on or who has a lower vibrational frequency, who is also caught up in the drama, the nonsense, the bullshit. They'd rather get into a conversation with them and go back and forward about why that politician shouldn't have been voted in, why this should happen to the youth gangs, why this is happening here, etc., etc. A brainless debate over nonsense. They would rather do that than interact with someone and talk about fun things, things that bring them that joy. Maybe it's about starting a business. Maybe it's about something positive that happened in their day. There are negative things that happen in people's days. There are negative things that happen in everyone's day. But they would rather talk to those other people that are on that negative wavelength than start to discuss things with people on a more upbeat and higher vibrational, higher frequency sort of level. And it doesn't have to really just be that. It could just be normal, quote unquote, normal people who just like to talk about good, happy experiences. The problem is focus. And I've mentioned this many times over the years. For the past 6 or 7 years, I've mentioned it countless amount of times. What you focus on is what's going to come back to you. And what you speak about is going to always be attached to you. Your attention is the highest form of currency. And by you not accepting or even knowing that, and putting your attention and your focus onto the nonsense and drama and bullshit, you're bringing to yourself that self-inflicted and self-imposed depression that I mentioned at the start of the video. There's no one else to blame. You can go ahead and blame someone else for this. But that's just rejecting the accountability for your own actions. You can go ahead and blame the world, blame that corrupt politician for making you angry. You got to realize you gave up your power by focusing on the negative and the nonsense and the drama. Instead of understanding the world for what it is, and the world, the reality, call it what you will, is running accordingly, and you seeing it for what it is and not paying it no mind, the mind field, you want to dip your toes in. You want to climb down that ladder and get into that little world. That's on you. Self-inflicted depression, self-imposed depression, anxiety, stress. I don't know how many times I can say to watch what you focus on. Ingest things that bring joy and happiness into your life. Ingest, not through the mouth, through the eyes and the ears and who you verbally talk to, those things that uplift, that make you smile. If you're going to put your attention and focus on the negative and get involved with drama, gossip, whatever it may be, then you need to take accountability for your actions. You can't get involved in that situation or that lifestyle or that energy or frequency and then push the blame when you get depressed and angry and stressed out and push that onto somebody else. You have willingly given your power away. I think it's time to start taking your power back than just handing it to the construct, the narratives, the belief systems on a silver platter and saying, here, enjoy the meal. Because that's what they're doing. They're feeding off your energy, your currency, your attention, your focus. And that's how that gets stronger and you become weaker. And that's how you sit back and have a miserable, depressed life. So, the conclusion is, watch what you ingest. Watch what you bring into your energy field. Watch who you interact with. Be aware. Awareness is everything. You are awareness, that is. So be aware of everything that you are giving your attention, your greatest currency, and your focus to. So then you won't have to worry about waking up or going through the rest of the day in an angry, depressed state, just mad at the world. that's the message for today. Interpret it as you wish. As always, have an awesome time, and I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.